Welcome to a brand new deep dive. Today we're cutting through some of the noise. We're exploring those fascinating, sometimes surprising connections between tech, the huge money flowing into it, and the real-world infrastructure challenges.
Yeah, it's all linked, isn't it?
Totally. We're looking at everything, from crypto's digital frontier to the very physical demands of AI and electric vehicles.
And how policy isn't just sitting on the sidelines, it's right in the mix.
Exactly. An active player.
So we've pulled together insights from, well, quite a few sources, including recent Bloomberg technology transcripts, trying to give you a clearer picture of what's really going on beneath the headlines.
Mm-hmm.
Our goal here is really to pull out those key nuggets of knowledge. We want you to walk away not just, informed, but maybe with a few real aha moments about how all these pieces actually fit together.
Right. So as we kick things off, what's really jumping out at you in this sort of interconnected tech landscape?
Well, the crypto momentum is hard to ignore, especially the action on Capitol Hill.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack that. We've definitely seen a lot of movement there. What's driving it? I mean, what are these legislative efforts actually trying to do for crypto?
Well, what's really striking, I think, is how close crypto might be getting to solidifying its legal status, at least here in the U.S.
Okay.
The information we've looked at points to two key pieces of legislation. First, you've got the Genius Act.
Right.
That's already cleared the Senate. And this bill would essentially legalize stablecoins, the ones pegged to the U.S. dollar.
Which have always been a bit of a gray area, legally speaking.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Popular but ambiguous. So legalization could really open the door for, mainstream financial players to properly get into the stablecoin business.
Okay, so that's stablecoins. What about the rest? Bitcoin, the others?
Right. So then there's the Clarity Act. That one targets the broader crypto market. And this legislation seems like it would basically codify the current trading environment.
Kind of formalizing the status quo.
Sort of, yeah. Building on how the Trump administration previously dropped some lawsuits against crypto companies, the industry buzz, anyway, seems pretty optimistic this points towards long-term legalization for things like Bitcoin, Solana, Dogecoin, even something called fake coin.
Wait, fake coin. Is that real?
Believe it or not, yeah. Our sources actually confirm it's a real and apparently quite popular cryptocurrency.
Huh. Okay. So that's a lot of legislative effort.
Yeah.
Is there much pushback, though, or are these just sailing through? Because the other thing that really jumps out is the sheer financial power behind all this.
That's a really good point, and it gets to the forces at play here. The reports we saw indicate the crypto industry was actually the #1 spender on lobbying last cycle.
Number one.
Yeah, an incredible $150 million given to candidates.
Wow.
I mean, this isn't just throwing money around. It looks like a very strategic move to, maybe lock in crypto's mainstream legal status by passing years of regulatory uncertainty.
Right. Get ahead of the game.
Exactly. It really highlights how targeted financial influence can seriously speed up or maybe even dictate how quickly innovation happens in a sector, how it gets prioritized legislatively.
Okay, so moving from the purely digital, like crypto, to something very physical.
Mm-hmm.
The material we looked at highlights another huge investment area, AI, artificial intelligence, and its, surprisingly large energy footprint.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just code.
No.
When you connect this to the bigger picture, the rise of AI isn't just software and algorithms. It brings massive infrastructure demands with it.
Like power. Lots of power.
Tons of power. There's one really stark case study we found, a single large data center being built by CoreWeave. It's projected to literally double the power needs of Denton, Texas.
Double. For a city of, 150,000 people?
Yeah, about that. It's just a dramatic illustration of how AI is causing this huge surge in electricity demand across the country.
Yeah.
And that creates real challenges for utility operators.
I bet.
And what's also interesting about this particular CoreWeave project, apparently it didn't get the usual local tax breaks that often come with these huge developments.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which means, assuming their numbers are right, potentially hundreds of millions in net income and tax revenue for the local economy there.
So that CoreWeave situation, it's not just a local Denton thing, is it? It sounds like maybe a warning shot for our national grid.
It could be seen that way.
This AI power surge shows how quickly our existing infrastructure might just get overwhelmed. We could face real energy reliability issues nationally.
It's a definite stress test.
And speaking of physical infrastructure and, massive investment, let's pivot again to another sector that's just exploding, electric vehicles and, crucially, battery manufacturing.
Right. That area is seeing Absolutely colossal investment, huge strategic shifts. One really big example in our sources is Panasonic's new EV battery plant. It's in DeSoto, Kansas.
How big are we talking?
Colossal is the word. 4.7 million square feet. It's designed to produce 30 gigawatt hours of battery capacity per year.
Which translates to?
Enough for roughly 500,000 electric vehicles annually.
Wow. 500,000 cars from one plant.
Yep. And production apparently just started last week. They expect to hit full capacity this year.
And why Kansas?
Yeah.
Just about the money.
Not just money, according to the analysis. They looked at the available workforce, of course, the existing infrastructure, things like power lines are crucial. But interestingly, they also mentioned a strong emotional partnership with local officials.
An emotional partnership.
Yeah, apparently some officials even spoke with them in the Osaka dialect. It really highlights that human sort of cultural element in these huge industrial decisions. It's not always just spreadsheets.
Interesting. What about jobs?
Big numbers. The plan is expected to create 4,000 direct jobs, plus maybe another 20,000 indirect ones. And Panasonic was proactive. They worked with local schools, community colleges to actually develop specific training programs to make sure that skilled workforce was ready when the plant opened.
Smart planning.
Definitely. And while Panasonic put in $4 billion themselves, the plant is eligible for almost $7 billion from the Inflation Reduction Act. That's the 45X manufacturing tax credit.
$7 billion on a $4 billion investment.
Almost, yeah. It shows just how significant the government support is for bringing this kind of manufacturing back on shore.
That domestic production piece seems absolutely key, doesn't it? Especially for the EV makers themselves.
Oh, absolutely. It's a game changer for streamlining supply chains. Take Lucid, for instance.
Right, the luxury EV maker.
Exactly. They are now sourcing their 2,170 battery cells, that's a specific type, cylindrical domestically from that new Panasonic plant in Kansas.
Ah, so that's the connection.
Yep. It's a big shift for them. They used to rely on suppliers in Japan and Korea.
So what drove that shift? Just the location?
It was partly location, but also partnership. They apparently co-engineered the cells. Lucid brought their real-world performance data and needs. Panasonic brought their chemistry know-how.
Makes sense.
And economically, yeah, it lines up perfectly, especially with that 45X tax credit we mentioned. Plus, they avoid tariffs they'd face importing cells from Japan or Korea.
Right, avoiding tariffs is huge.
Definitely. And Lucid is also trying to localize more of its raw materials supply chain, like graphite. They've got a goal, something like 50% North American sourcing by 2030.
Building resilience, I guess, after COVID maybe?
Exactly that, building supply chain resilience after all the disruptions. But, it's complex. Tariffs, even on raw materials, are still pushing up costs. Ultimately, that can make the final vehicles more expensive for us, for American buyers.
Yeah, the complexities of global trade aren't going away.
Not at all.
So with all these factors, the batteries, the tariffs, the competition, what's Lucid's bigger picture strategy? Are they just sticking to the high end?
Well, from what we can piece together, they're actively working on a mid-sized platform. They're targeting a price point around $50,000.
Okay, that's much more mainstream.
They seem to see that price as a critical point for wider EV adoption, getting more people into EVs.
And how's their current car, the Air, doing?
Reports say it's actually the best-selling EV in its specific luxury segment in the U.S. Apparently even outsold some traditional gasoline cars in its class earlier this year.
Really? Against the established luxury brands?
Seems so. They also emphasize, that automotive innovation takes time. It's a long game, years to engineer new models. And they did note they're seeing more interest from buyers who might have otherwise looked at a Tesla, so the market might be diversifying a bit.
Interesting dynamic. Okay, shifting gears back to AI. It really does feel like an arms race, doesn't it? Every big tech player seems to be throwing just, unbelievable amounts of money at it.
It certainly looks that way.
What are the latest big commitments we're hearing about?
Well, the reports we saw indicate Meta's CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, is talking about committing hundreds of billions of dollars.
Hundreds of billions.
Wow. Yeah, to build out what he calls superintelligence infrastructure. And they're aggressively hiring AI talent. He even apparently said some companies, maybe his own included, will probably overpay just to make sure they don't fall behind in this AI race.
That's intense, just staggering sums. And what about Elon Musk? He's got his own AI venture, XAI. How does that fit into his broader empire?
That's a really interesting question, isn't it? How these diversified tech empires are trying to use AI and find synergies.
Right.
Our analysis suggests that Musk's XAI is quickly becoming a kind of central hub for his whole Elon Inc. universe.
So connecting Tesla's SpaceX X.
Exactly. SpaceX is putting $2 billion into XAI, and Tesla shareholders are actually going to vote soon on whether Tesla should also invest directly.
What's the pitch there? Why should Tesla invest in a separate AI company?
The core idea seems to be creating deep synergies, like distributing their AI model, Grok, through Tesla cars, and crucially, using XAI's tech to significantly boost Tesla's self-driving capabilities.
Oh, okay. The full self-driving push.
Right. Musk's argument to shareholders is basically, this AI tech is going to be world-changing, it'll be worth vastly more down the line, and that value will flow back to Tesla.
But is XAI making money now?
Well, that's the potential challenge highlighted in the data. Reports suggest XAI is burning through cash maybe over $1 billion a month.
$1 billion a month.
Yeah, and apparently not generating much revenue yet, beyond Grok being available to subscribers of X, the platform formerly known as Twitter. So it does raise questions about its long-term business viability, as a standalone thing.
Definitely something to watch. Okay, so we've covered crypto capital, AI's power demands, EV manufacturing. But this deep dive wouldn't really be complete without touching on how high-level global policy fits in. Even things that seem unrelated can impact this tech world we're discussing.
Absolutely. It's all interconnected. The source material we looked at also touched on recent statements from a prominent political figure regarding international relations, and it illustrates that broader geopolitical context that definitely shapes tech developments.
How so? Give us an example.
Okay, well, for instance, there was a mention of a threat. 100% secondary tariffs on Russia if a deal with Ukraine isn't reached within, I think it was 50 days.
Right.
Yeah.
How does that connect back to tech?
Well, think about it. Threats of massive tariffs like that aren't just diplomatic noise. They can send shockwaves through supply chains for critical tech components, semiconductors, rare earths, you name it. That can drive up costs for consumers, shift investment plans for things like AI data centers or EV battery factories.
Okay, got it. The ripple effect.
Exactly. Similarly, on military support, the source mentioned the U.S. manufactures the best military gear and would send weapons to NATO, which European nations would pay for, while the U.S. keeps its own stockpiles. This points to a coordinated effort involving NATO members like Germany, Finland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Canada, all ramping up defense production, speeding equipment to Ukraine.
And the tech connection there.
Well, that focus on defense production directly impacts manufacturing capacity, demands for certain materials, R&D funding, especially in areas like advanced robotics, cybersecurity, secure communications, all very tech-heavy fields.
Right. It influences the industrial base.
Precisely. Now, it's really important we reiterate here, our role is just to impartially report what was in these sources. We're not endorsing any specific viewpoints or claims made within them.
Understood. Just conveying the information.
Exactly, but it absolutely highlights that complex, sometimes unpredictable dance between technology, economics, and global diplomacy that shapes the world we live in.
Wow. What a journey, really, through the absolute cutting edge of tech, policy, global economics. From those, staggering sums trying to shape crypto laws.
Yeah, the $150 million lobbying figure still stands out.
Right. To the very real physical impact of AI on our power grids. And then that intricate dance of EV manufacturing, domestic production, tariffs. It's so clear that everything is way more connected than it might seem at first glance.
It really is. The flow of money, the strain on infrastructure, those big geopolitical chess moves, they all converge right on the tech developments we read about every day.
This deep dive really does underscore how tightly woven these technological leaps are with global politics, with resource management. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Definitely. Every new gadget, every AI breakthrough, it's not just innovation in a vacuum. It's about the power grid behind it, the global supply chains it needs, the international relationships that help or hinder it.
So what's the next big ripple effect? As these forces keep bumping up against each other in maybe unexpected ways.
That's the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? It certainly leaves you with a lot to chew on, thinking about the future we're actually building right now, one byte and maybe one battery at a time.